So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing. As always, please like and subscribe and comment for more boxing related content. So Lyndon Arthur puts on a mixed performance against a Braian Suarez. This was a 12 rounder for the IBO light heavyweight title. Now Suarez was a big puncher. He was currently 18-1 with that one loss coming in his last two fights. So Suarez started the fight quite strong. He was catching Lyndon Arthur with some big, heavy right hands from round one. But Lyndon, stayed composed at times and was throwing the jab and was doing quite well, but he just couldn't keep, obviously, the big punching Suarez off him. And he got clipped, he got caught. It was an overhand right, and he went down, took a knee. I think it was in the third or fourth round. Big punch, and it kind of dazed him. And to be honest, Lyndon was quite lucky because um, he could have got stopped, but he done well. Went back to the corner, obviously regained his senses, and then came back out for the next round. However, for the first minute or so, his legs were unsteady, and again he was getting caught with some silly shots. But he did well to again survive. And the fight was quite close. But I probably had Suarez up probably by 1 or 2 rounds around round 7. So it was quite close, give or take, and depending on the judges, they could have scored it either way. However, the bigger punches were landing from Suarez, and it was quite frustrating because Lyndon's jabs, he's got a brilliant jab, and I love Lyndon Arthur. I love watching him fight because he's exciting. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if he's going to put on a masterclass or, from any minute he's just going to, land a big shot and catch someone and hurt them. However, in this fight, he looked rigid, he looked slow, he looked a little bit lethargic, and his jab just wasn't, it just didn't have enough sting on it to keep Suarez away or at bay. And his right hand as well was kind of, realistically within the early part of the fight, null and void. It wasn't really there. It wasn't really deterring Suarez from coming forward. And it wasn't until I think it was round 9. Lyndon Arthur had a good flurry. In the last few seconds of the end of round 9, and it kind of spurred him on, gave him that little bit of confidence to go out in the next round and to do what he did. And he was in that next round, in the 10th round, where he ended up stopping Suarez with a left hook to the body. At the time, I felt as if it was a flash knockdown. And even when Suarez didn't make it back to his feet, I was like, this guy's took a dive, because the shot to me didn't really seem that powerful. Even now, an hour afterwards, kind of contemplating and thinking, you know what, I don't feel as if that shot was that big, but it wasn't me who took the punch, and it was Suarez, and he wasn't able to beat the count, and obviously got counted out. And Lyndon Arthur now becomes the IBO light heavyweight champion. So hats off and fair play to him for becoming a world champion. Even though it's not probably one of the best governing bodies, it's still a world championship belt, and that will now hopefully put him up in the rankings a little bit more. And hopefully we can maybe see him try and entice some of the bigger names in the division into a good matchup. He's already been in there with Anthony Yard, and he's been in there twice actually. He beat him the first time and lost the second time. So we never know, in the next 18 months or so, we could potentially see a rematch depending on how their careers go. Lyndon Arthur is way off a Beterbiev at this stage, or a Bivol. I don't feel as if he should be looking to try and entice any of these guys into the ring. But these guys do hold all the belts in the division. Now, there's other fights there for him. Now, I do feel that, he could try and handpick, maybe take on a few maybe lesser names, but big names in the division, because it's not really stacked with, awesome names. And depending on what happens with the belts in the next 18 to 24 months, he could then maybe fight for one of the titles, as long as one of these two big boys in the division don't have the belt. But anyway, keep this video short. Fair play to Lyndon Arthur. He is now a world champion. This should do his rankings a little bit, of a boost. So he may probably climb up in a couple of the governing bodies over the next month or so with this win, and also obviously him now being a world champion. If you guys did watch the fight, let me know how you feel about this fight. What did you think about Lyndon's performance? What did you think about the stoppage? What I was disappointed with get my words out, was pretty much this whole show, Like, it kind of went under the radar, and that's the thing with Wasserman. They haven't really got a big enough, how can I say, promote to the company, or public, publishing their shows, their events. So people like myself, a fairly good hardcore boxing fan, didn't really know about this fight. I literally was just flicking through the channels after work, and boom, there it is. So good job I did watch, because obviously I get to see Lyndon Arthur become a world champion, and there was another good fight on there as well between Sam Antwi versus Mason, what was it, Cartwright, which was a good fight, and obviously I'll do a little video about that, because it was a very good fight, good stoppage as well. But yeah, I just feel as if Wasserman promotions need to potentially promote their shows, their events a bit more. It's literally a Friday night, no one knows about it sort of thing. But in the end, as I said, it was it was two good fights that we got to see, and yeah, Lyndon Arthur continues, and hopefully he can maybe entice some of the bigger boys in the division. Me personally, I'd love to see Lyndon versus Dan Aziz. I'd love to see that matchup. I just think the clash of styles would be awesome. I think Lyndon Arthur's jab would cause Dan Aziz some big trouble. But also I do feel as if Dan Aziz hits Lyndon Arthur, he ain't getting back up. So that'll be a brilliant fight. But it's not going to be a fight that we're going to see anytime soon, because Dan Aziz obviously is going to be taking on Joshua Buatsi next in his next fight. So, but anyway, I want to keep this video short. Let me know your thoughts. As always, please subscribe and comment.